Dad, what about Robert Saleh? The defense was really bad too, and we know what he was doing all week.
Okay. I have a lot to say about him, and some of this is serious, more serious than only football. He was terrible yesterday, Iggy. He gave up 34 points. If you don't count am I doing my math right? If you don't count
Correct.
The first 13 seconds, he gave up 34 points, whereas a few weeks ago he gave up 13. Now, it's possible that he gave up so many more points because he was preoccupied with getting a head coaching job. But that's a hypothesis. Let's say that's not the case. Okay. Let's say that he did a good job. He was prepared, and we're not going to blame him for having his mind elsewhere, because a lot of coaches, it's how the NFL works. A lot of coaches who are current are being interviewed. So he didn't do anything wrong in that. He did a lot wrong, but in that regard, but he still coached like shit. And here's the thing that really bothered me about it, Iggy. Saleh is a guy who prides himself. We can stop the run against that team. You said yesterday that Walker looked like Bo Jackson. It was a joke. Mm-hmm. It was a joke.
After the game, too, CJ West, the rookie, was asked about it. He was like, they were just running the same plays they ran last time. We just weren't ready to play. He said that. Running the same plays. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, Brady, when I was listening to him, there was that one play, I mentioned it to you this morning. Rashid got a pass on the right flat, and he ran maybe like 20, 25 yards, very successful. And Brady, who's pretty honest, said, he didn't use Saleh's name. He said that defensive call was the worst possible call for that play. Yep. And that was Brady. So whatever the reason, Saleh called a horrible game yesterday, and he learned nothing from the first game. Nothing. My friend, Fred Van Appen, who used to be with the Niners and with Bill at Stanford, said, if a team can run on you, everything is open to them. He told me that. Mm-hmm. Everything was open to Seattle. Everything. Mm-hmm. Because the Niners couldn't stop the run. It was embarrassing. It's basic football that they were not playing.
And again, we don't know that it's because he did 4 interviews, or 2 before the game and 2 after. But it's funny because he could have been the greatest interviewer of all time. He could have dazzled the Miami Dolphins. But how do they hire him and say, Dolphins fans, here's our new head coach, Robert Saleh, the guy who gave up 34 to Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. Clap it up for Robert Saleh, who's going to really, I feel like he kind of disqualified. I mean, it's hard enough to hire a defensive coach and get your team behind that as a way to win in 2026. But a defensive coach who just got obliterated? Nah, maybe we'll wait on that.
That's part of his resume. What happened yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
It's part. And look, but the Niners have a history of that. They hired Kyle Shanahan after he blew a Super Bowl in the 4th quarter.
That's true.
They did the same thing.
That is true.
So maybe some other team in the league will say, it was a bad game. What the hell? Everybody has a bad game. Iggy, I want to say something else about Saleh. And this is different. I do not want you to talk. This is just Lowell. So I want to make it very clear. I have serious criticisms of how Saleh acts. Iggy and Saleh have a professional relationship. Grant likes Saleh and admires him. And Saleh helped you in your career. You've been very gracious about that. So I've never met the guy and never will, but I'm very thankful to him. Having said that, and this is a veteran, I have been involved with the NFL longer than Saleh. I know how coaches act and how coaches should act. And I have serious moral misgivings with Saleh. If Saleh ever sees this, I'm talking to you, Robert. You portray yourself as a stand-up guy. You portray yourself as a man of integrity and honor. You besmirched it last week, and I want to tell you how. Last Wednesday, you had your press conference with all the media. Iggy was in the auditorium?
Yes.
Okay. Josh Dubow from the Associated Press, who is a friend of mine and a really good reporter, said to Saleh, "Will you have any job interviews before the Seattle game?" And Saleh said Sunday, meaning he's going to have his interview Sunday, i.e., not before the game. That was dishonest. In Brooklyn, we would call that a lie. In Brooklyn, we would call him a liar. That's very bad. Sometimes they're not truthful about injuries, things like that. Something like this, a head coach or a guy who aspires to be a head coach needs to be truthful, especially because it would be found out immediately. It was going to be reported within minutes that he had interviews, I believe, already set up with Arizona and Dolphins on Thursday, which is before the game. So he lied when he didn't have to lie, and he lied when he knew he was going to be outed. That's schmucky behavior, and it's immoral behavior. And if you want to say he's disqualified by his performance yesterday, he may also be disqualified because he lied. Now, I want to tell you what he could have done. He could have, when Josh asked the question, will you have interviews before the game? I think he panicked. I think he didn't know what to say. And I think for whatever reason, he hadn't gone over that question with the PR staff, but they should have, because it was going to come up. Mm-hmm. He could have said one of two things. I have 2 interviews scheduled Thursday. I do. I'm not going to tell you what teams. You'll probably find out. It doesn't matter. But I really feel I've completed my preparation. I've gone over it with Kyle. And he says I'm okay. And I've talked to Lynch and Jed, and they are okay with my having these 2 interviews. So I'm going to do that. Iggy, that would be a totally fair and honest answer. Mm-hmm. Or he could have said, Josh, I understand why you're asking that question. I don't want to address it at this time. I'm focused on the Seattle game. That's something I'll talk about another time. But for now, I don't want to discuss it. That's a fair answer. And it's essentially a no comment. A no comment is always fair. The one thing you can't do is lie. He had alternatives that a grown-up, ethical man would use. And I have one other thing to say. Iggy knows that every Friday night I go out to dinner with a group of friends. And sometimes Iggy comes with me. And one of them is a lawyer who Iggy knows very well. He was an undergraduate at Stanford and he did law school at Stanford at the same time I was there in English. We are dear friends. On Friday night, he said to me, I really admire Saleh. He's a man of great integrity. It's great that the Niners have him, and it's very bad that they're going to lose him. And I told him the story about how he lied. My friend, who is a serious lawyer, went like this with his hand. My dad was a lawyer. He would do this. He wiped him off, and he said he lied. That's the end of my interest in him. You can't be a liar, Robert. And if you feel that I've been unfair to you, if you feel I've misunderstood it, Iggy has my phone number. You can call me. I'll be happy to talk to you anytime. I think there's something you can learn, and it's about integrity. Okay, that's my spiel.
There's one more thing, too, with him. Liam Cohn.
Oh, God. You're right. You're right. He did that. He said, I'm going to end your life. Is that what he said, Iggy?
Yeah, but that wasn't the beginning of it. Like, he started the whole thing at a press conference. Someone's like, what do you think of Liam Cohn's offense? And he was like, he steals signs really well. People are like, what? He was like, no, it's a compliment. Like, he's just really good at it. He steals signs. And then loses to Liam Cohn. And Liam Cohn's like, don't ever keep my name out of your mouth, which is a fair thing to say privately after beating you. And then you say, I'm going to end your life.
Yeah, Iggy, I forgot. You're so right to bring that up. So these are 2 cases in which there's another Saleh we hadn't known about.
I don't know that.
Yeah, he's not the guy you deal with, but he's there. He's there. Yeah. So I guess we're saying we have serious moral misgivings and a little bit as a coach too.
Yeah, I mean, the Niners had a good season, but it all collapsed at the very end in like an incredible implosion, and he was equally responsible. It was as much to do with Saleh as it was to do with Lynch or Shanahan and Purdy.
Absolutely. In fact, his defense, Iggy couldn't stop the run from a pretty good running back. Not a great.
Yeah.
The other guy, the Charbonnet, he got hurt.
Yeah. They couldn't stop him
UCLA.
either when he was healthy.
Yeah, right. They couldn't stop the. If you can't stop the run, you can't stop anything. What was he doing?
Yeah. Yeah, and it just feels like Clint Kubiak had the schematic advantage over Robert Saleh. Like, it's not necessarily that the Seahawks offense is so talented. I mean, their quarterback's pretty good. Their running back's good. Their one wide receiver is really good, but he didn't really have an impact on the game. The tight end's fine. It was like you didn't have the answers against Clint Kubiak, whose little brother is on your staff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know we're being critical, and other people have written this was a great season and it's great for next season. We're going to talk about how great it is for next season in a bit. But I'm very of all the people we've talked about, Iggy, I'm the most critical of Robert Saleh, and I'm going to add something else. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, and again, like, beyond all the stuff you just said is his moral integrity. Just doing those interviews, and it's part of the league. But we saw what he looked like when he was solely focused on the Seahawks 2 weeks ago. Pretty good. Not great, but 13 points. And then 2 weeks later, when he's trying to do that and juggle 4 other things, it was night and day. So I don't know. And what's tough is, like, let's say Saleh comes back and they get another year of him. This will be the situation next year. He'll be interviewing. If they get to the playoffs, it'll be the exact same thing.
Iggy, do you think he'll be with them next season?
I do. I think that loss was so bad that teams can't hire him now. I don't see how you put him up in front of you. Hey, this is the guy who got obliterated on national television by Sam Darnold. Everyone saw it, but he had some injuries. We love him. He also failed on the Jets. I think he needs to be coming off like a big victory or I mean, he had some good performances, but I don't think he's going to get hired anymore. I don't think so. What do you think?
I think there are desperate teams like the Raiders. He'd have to go to a bottom.
Tom Brady was tearing him apart on the broadcast last night. From what you're telling me, it doesn't sound good.
That's true. It's Tom Brady, and he's Mr.
If
Raider.
the Raiders are turned off, then, like, I don't know, man. And that's, to me, what's so funny is that's the interview. You flunked it. That spoke way more than anything you told the freaking Cardinals about what you thought about them or what you could do for them.
Yeah, your PowerPoint presentation. This was your PowerPoint presentation.
That was the PowerPoint presentation. Yeah. All right, well, before we get to the next topic, I want to shout out this week's sponsor, AG1. They're helping me get more healthy, more fit. I'm a sports writer. These seasons are long. You don't sleep so good. You don't eat so good. But AG1, that's where they come in. Sustainable health is about consistency, Dad, not perfection. Simplify your nutrition with AG1 multivitamin, pre and probiotics, superfoods, and antioxidants in one scoop. It's the opposite of complexity. We're talking 20 seconds, one scoop, 8 ounces of water, done. I had it this morning. I've had it every day this week. And Dad, I feel terrific. I feel splendiferous. And I want to thank AG1 for that. They have 50,000 verified 5-star reviews, and it comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Go to drinkag1.com/Cohn to get their best offer. For a limited time only, get a free AG1 duffel bag and a free AG1 welcome kit with your first subscription order. Only while supplies last. That's drinkag1.com/Cohn, drinkag1.com/Cohn. I've been a big Metamucil guy for a long time. I love fiber supplement. It makes me feel like a more healthy person. And now that I have fiber and AG1 in the morning, I think that I'm going to live a lot longer, Dad, which is good.
Iggy, so let me understand. AG1 it's like a supplement you take with your breakfast?
Absolutely. And it's got all kind of vitamins and good stuff in it, and it's green, which makes me feel like it's very healthy.
Do you mix it with water? Is that what you do?
Yes. You could shake it up. You could stir it. Sometimes I put the fiber and the AG1 together and make a little bit of a mixture.
I wouldn't do that. My brother, who was a doctor, said when you take the Metamucil, don't take anything else for about 20 minutes. That the Metamucil will get in the way.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
yeah,
good to know.
Good to know. My
brother AG1, Robert. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't even mask your effects. Okay. Well, thank you, AG1.